Hi there, it's Michelle from CNC Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Zealand, and I want to show you how to use some of the fabulous products from Stampin' Up's new mini catalog that's from September to December 2024. Now, Stampin' Up!, if you're familiar with the product, you already have heard of bundles. If not, bundles are usually where there's a stamp set that you can get a coordinating die set or punch with it at a discounted price. But in this catalog, there's one bundle that's slightly different. It's the odd one out. So on page 39, there's the Take a Bow or Take a Bow, depending on how you want to pronounce it, bundle. Now, the difference with this bundle is it doesn't include a stamp set. So this bundle includes the dies to cut the strips to make the bows and a pack of 6x6 inch designer series paper. And the pack has 48 sheets in it. It's got 4 double-sided designs there. So this bundle, if you purchase the bundle together, you actually save 10%, or you can just purchase the items separately if you want. So this bundle here, I'm going to show you how to make the bow as shown here on page 39 of the catalog, but I'm going to show you lots of other bows that you can make, as well as things that are not bows that you can make with this die that allows you to cut 6 strips of paper very quickly. So let me first show you the designer series paper that comes in the pack. So you get a pack of 48 sheets, 12 of each different design. So you have the green kind of stars, and then you've got all the spots. Now the colors in this pack are real red, granny apple green, and garden green, as well as the basic white. Then one of them is just the granny apple green speckles on a garden green background, and then you have all the colors giving you a checked striped look. And then we have the real red with that looks like it's a stamped off shade, so slightly lighter shade of real red with polka dots. And then we have all the colors in stripes here. Then we have one of my favorites, the candy cane look, the red and white candy cane, and the other side we have some leaves and some berries, so sort of like holly, but I don't really think those look like holly leaves, but kind of Christmassy, or you can use it for other times of the year. Nice thing with this die is, one, I'm going to show you lots of other things you can make besides bows, but you use bows all the time. Whenever you're doing any kind of package or, decoration, hair decoration for girls, and the dies do cut thinner fabrics and felt, so you can use it for that. So here's the die, and before I forget, I will be listing all the products I show you in the description below, so if you want to purchase any, contact your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you're in New Zealand and don't already have a demonstrator, you can go to my website, michellecritchley.stampinup.net, and order from me. And I also have other videos, etc. you can look at for inspiration. So that's the die. It's one big piece. Makes it quite easy. You don't have to worry about lining up every strip or cutting multiple times. And it's designed to fit on a 6x6 inch piece of paper, cardstock. You could do fabric, felt, etc. anything that you'd like to make. And see, it fits there quite nicely. When you do cut it, anything with this die, you get, with your leftovers, you actually get like a banner. So that's left over from the edge. If you don't put it too close to the edge, you end up with what looks like a banner. So you could easily use this on your projects, your cards or scrapbooking or anything. Now with this die, if you are making this larger bow here, this nice full bow, you actually need to get 2 full sets. So you can either run it through twice, especially if you're doing cardstock, but with the designer series paper, it's thin enough that you can just sandwich 2 pieces of paper and run it through the one time. So you cut them both in one go. So I've already cut some paper, and this was left on. That's the paper I'm using, but you can see I had them both lined up and just cut cut both sheets out in one go. And I have the lovely little banner section left over I'll use for something. So with this paper, I'm going to show you how to put the bow together. Now it sort of shows you in the pictures where you start with this kind of a shape, then you stick two together, and then you layer it up to create the bow. And there's some other videos as well that show you, but I'll show you first how to make that bow, and then I'll show you all the other ones I've made and explain how I've created those. I've been making bows since I was a child. My mother used to teach me how to decorate packages quite nicely. So when you run the die through, you end up with 3 large, 2 medium, and 1 small. So that's one run through. And as I said, to do that bigger bow, you need to run it through twice. So you'll end up with 6 large, 4 medium, and 2 small. You only need one of the small ones to make the bow, but I'll show you what you can do with your extra little leftover piece. In doing all these projects, I found that it's probably easiest to use either tear and tape or the mini glue dots to put it together, because otherwise you end up with very sticky fingers, and that's what I will be showing you how to do in this video. If you want it to be nice and firm and all that, go ahead and use glue, but it gets pretty sticky once you try to get to the center. So I will show you a few times, and I've already got some made, but the way to create that shape, so we're going to get this like conical shape. The easiest way to do that is you take your designer series paper, decide what's going to be on the outside. So I want this to be the outside of my bow, and that's going to be inside. So you'll see a little bit, but not a lot. So holding that, put a couple glue dots or a bit of tear and tape on the part that you want for the outside, just on the edge. So I'm just going to put 1 glue dot sort of on each corner. So there, I've got 2 glue dots on there. And you notice it's got an interesting shape. So it's got 2 diagonal sides and a flat top to it. So this is the inside, holding the inside this way. That's the outside that you want to be. That doesn't have any glue on it. So holding that side, grasp the other with the glue on it, and you just gently twist it. And when you bring them together, you want to line up that diagonal there with the center of the other one. So just bring it round and line them up. And don't worry, I will do this a few times. Plus you can always pause and rewind the video. So stick those together and it gives you that shape. Okay, so now we'll do that again. So, and because this is paper, I don't need to use a bone folder to soften it up. But if it was cardstock, I would use a bone folder to soften the fibers in it. So this is going to be my outside of the bow, the top that I want to see. So I'm bringing my glue dot in, sticking one on one corner, basically, and then one on the other corner. Where's my glue dot? There it is. Okay, so I've got my glue dot there. That's the inside of my bow, holding the part that doesn't have the glue with the straight bit up. Grab the part that I put the glue on. You just gently twist it. You don't have to force it. And just put it together where the side meets the top. And then the top is meeting that side. And that gives you that shape. It's that easy. So those were the large ones. And what you want to do before you try to assemble it is get all your pieces done. So you're going to want to have 4 of the medium and 6 of the large. So I'm just going to do one more, and then I will use what I've already put together to show you how to do it. So this is the medium size. So again, that's going to be the inside, that's the outside of our bow. That's the part I put my glue on, just gently holding it, just twist it over. And then the center of that meets the side, and the center of the one you twisted meets that side. Press it together. Now if you want to use tear and tape, You just get a feel for it because you're actually sticking it down to about that much of this section here. So if you want, you could put your tape there and then twist it over. But I find it easier to do this way. So I'm going to put a bit of tear and tape just to show you how it's done. And that's why we call it tear and tape, so you can tear it off. I just put it at a diagonal because I know I'm going to end up at a diagonal. So just, there's my adhesive, my tear and tape. That's the inside. This is the outside of my bow. Again, I'm just going to twist it over. Not going to force it, just twist gently. And just stick the top and the side together. The other thing with using glue dots or tear and tape, if you don't like the way it looks, you can usually peel it off. But you're not going to see this section once it's all filled up, so it doesn't matter if it's slightly off. So if you're slightly off one way or the other, don't worry. Again, that gives us a shape. Now when I am creating, I just stick all the large ones together so I can tell the difference, because sometimes they all look the same, but see, that is a medium and it's definitely much smaller than the others. So I'll just do this last one here. I'll do tear and tape again on that one. And then I've already got some made so I can put the bow together. So tear and tape on one little bit. That's the inside. The part with the glue gets turned over. The two sections go together. And you get that conical shape. You could squish it, make it pointier if you want. I like the fullness of it. So these are the ones I did earlier. So I've got 4. I'll move this aside. I've got 4 of the medium ones, and I've got 6 of the large, because remember I ran it through the designer series paper twice. And I've already done a circle for the center. Now I stuck this together already, but I suggest you do that last because sometimes you might want the circle to be smaller. So this one I didn't, I just did it where it's overlapping just gently so you can still see a bit of the edge. But it depends on what you're working with and how you need to stick it in. But you don't need the other one. So now we need to put it together. Again, I'm going to use, I think I might use tear and tape for this to make it easier. So you want things paired up, same sizes. So again, I'm going to put some tear and tape on the part, the bottom there. So this is actually going to be the bottom. And then you want to have them coming together diagonally. And you want them to overlap a bit. And you get the feel for it once you do a few of them. When I first did it, I lined up the edges so they just barely overlap, but it's up to you how you want to do it. Now I overlap it slightly more. So you want to have a couple of them. Oh, that one I didn't overlap enough. I got the tape sticking out. Okay. So you want to do all your pairs. Of course, the center one you won't have a pair on. So actually it might be easier if you're using tear and tape, put it on the part that you're going to stick over. So there's my tape on the part I want to stick over, and then I'm just going to move that. So see, these are like straight up and down. And then another one. Make sure you're putting the right sizes together. You could probably put it together with the wrong sizes. It would be an interesting bow, but we're trying to make the one in the catalog at the moment. And then just overlap the two. And then the medium ones, I've only got to do this twice. So I'm just putting the tape just there. Or you could do a glue dot if you want. And overlapping them. Up. And another one. Tape. And we're going to, where is it? There it is. And overlap. Okay. So that's the start of one of these big bows. Then you want to put the sections together. So I'm just going to put some tear and tape in the center here. And again, it doesn't really matter if it's in the right exact spot because you're not going to see it. So I've just put some tear and tape there. You could use glue dots if you want. And then you're going to take one of your sections, don't put it straight across. You want it at a diagonal because you've actually got 3 sections to put in here. So you're going to put it at a diagonal. And see, now I've got room for one more to go there. Now, if you're doing it for the first time, I suggest you play with it before you put the glue on to see what goes where. But as you will see soon, I've made a lot of bows. So I sort of have this sussed out, I think. Okay, so now this one goes at a diagonal. Now you're probably thinking, oh, I've got this figured out. But now we're going to throw a spanner in the works. So look at that. That's pretty cute right there. You could even put some lollies in the center and have it just like that. So that used 6 of the large pieces, and the die gives you 3 in one go of the large pieces. So the medium pieces, again, we'll put our tape in the center, just roughly where we want it to go. But this one, because we only have 2, we're not going to do an angle. We're just going to go straight across. So this is more like a star, and that's quite cute too. I mean, you could have a little lolly bag in there, and that could be a gift. Now, this is the tricky part, is you need to stick this in there. So this is where it can sometimes get a bit difficult, fiddly, and it definitely got too sticky when I used glue. So you can do one strip, or I am going to do an X marks the spot, just because once you stick it down, you can't really put more tape in there. So again, you're not going to see this part in the center, so it doesn't matter that much. So I have decided just to do 2 strips of tape. You could be doing glue dots. If you're going to do glue dots, I suggest you put the glue dot on the back of the part you're going to put down. So now, because these are 3, and this is a section of 4 going on, a section of 4 ends going on a section with 6 ends, it's not going to go perfectly straight. You're just going to eyeball it and put it in how you think it looks good. Okay, and then once you push it in, this is where some of the end bits go a bit wonky. You want to put it in so it's not going straight underneath one of the other ones, because you don't want to lose your cute little bow. And that's where the middle section, you put this together last, because you don't know how big of a section you need, but this looks like it's going to be fine. So for here, because it's a bit difficult to get down in there, I'm going to put the tape right on the middle section. So that we just curled over. Now I could just go straight in and fill in that gap, if that's the way you like it, but I'm going to go at an angle, because that way you still see a little bit of the inside. If I go straight that way or straight that way, you don't see quite as much, as well as your eyes trying to make the lines line up. So I'm going to go at a bit of an angle, and if you have small enough fingers, you can get your fingers in to push it in place. If not, get your bone folder and push it down. And if your bone folder's too fat for that, you can use other tools, like your handy dandy pick-a tool. So don't even take the end off of it, just use it with the end still on there and push it through to try to press down where you put your sticky. And there you go. Voila. There's the bow. Now I could fix it up, you know, some of these are looking a bit wonky, but I could fix it up a bit better. But that just shows you how to make the bow as shown on page 39 in the catalog. Now, we have this left over. And as I said, you know, we could put it there. We could even do a second one over the top. But what you can do is snip it in the middle and then do like a little flag on it, or use a punch to do the little spiky end to make it look like an actual ribbon end. So that was the leftover piece. I just snipped it and stuck it on the back. And so there is the bow. So see, those are pretty good sized bows. Nice big as my hand. So I was playing around with that, and at first, when I first started doing it, I started putting them together the wrong way and couldn't get the right twist. Had to have a quick look at the video. There is a video on the website that shows you how to do it. Because I was trying to do it the way I've been taught how to make bows, And this is what I came up with. Now this only uses one run through with the die. So you only use one set of the dies. So for here, I've got the small one, I got the two medium ones, the two large ones, and this is the large one cut in half like I did with that small one there. So for this, all you have to do, move these out of the way, if you want to recreate that bow, is with your piece, and this is where I do use my bone folder because I'm getting more of a crease there. I'll just give it a bit of a bend. And you just put your glue down here on the inside, and you just put the two pieces together. And there you go. And so that builds up the two sides. And then again, the center is done like a circle like we've done before. And then, as I said, the extra piece. So this is the medium size. So you can see the medium is sitting there. So that's done with one set of the die cut section. So you can have a bow like that. Then I thought, what else can we do? Voila. So I got out some of my shiny paper. This is some of the retired paper. It is double-sided, so see the inside's a different color. And I made this bow. Now I think this was done with one go through as well because I did these a while back. So there's our center. There's our two. Yep, that's right. So I had three large, 1, 2, 3 large, and the two medium. And then I think I just used, had some left over. So there's the large bow. So that's the same as sticking those two pieces together, and then you put them across each other. And that gives you that bow. So that's this one taken a little bit further. Now, another way you can do it, you can come up with a different look. Oh, here we go. Oh, so here's the shiny done. See, that one I did it too tight. I did the middle bits too close and you can't really see that middle section. But this is done in the shiny paper. So that's the same as those bows. But depending on how tight you make it, it can look different. So this is two runs go-throughs with that one. And then we've got this bow. So it's similar to this, except done slightly different. So we've got the two large ones here, and then the two medium ones. Again, I did them the same way I did these two, and I tucked them underneath, did the curve on the small one, and then you have a big one left over, because remember we had 3 big, 2 medium, 1 small when you run it through. So I cut it in half and made the bow that looks like the ribbon coming off there. So that one's just got the 2 bits there tucked in. So that's another way of doing it with the 2. Now these here, that was done with 2. This was done with 3. So see, it's much larger than those. So with this one here, the middle part was done as I showed you, where you stick them together opposite. But then the extra ones for the outside, I then just stuck down. They're not touching each other. I stuck them down afterwards, and I just increased the bow going outward. So if you imagine, I had another piece here that let's see. So pretend that's a piece, and then you just add your extra pieces around the edge to make the bow even larger. So this one was done, I believe, with 3 sections. Okay, and again, the shiny paper. I think it looks so nice with the shiny paper. So there's a 3-section one. Then we can go back to doing only one run through. So I did this with 1 run through, and again the shiny paper. And I poked a hole in the center and put a little brad there. So there's a brad holding it together. So no glue holding these sections together, but it makes it so you can carry it easily. You can just fold all the sections up tightly like that. And that even makes kind of an interesting looking bow. Or you can spread them out because it's not glued together in the middle. And that was 1 cutting everything just the one time. So we've got the 2 medium, the 3 large, and the 1 small. And the way I got that shape is I will actually use a glue dot, if I can find where I put them. I lost my glue dots. Okay. Well, I will use tear and tape then. Sorry about that. Misplaced my glue dots. So that's your general shape, and they all the same shape. That's the little one I've got left over. So you put your glue dot or your tape. Actually, you want it to go in the middle. So you got to roughly figure out where the middle is. And you can even fold them. The easiest way to do that would be just to fold it in half. So whether it's small, medium, or large, fold it in half. And, oh, I just found my glue dots. There they are. They ran away on me. And so I'm going to put a glue dot on the part I want to stick down. So on that part, and another glue dot on that part. So that's going to be the inside. I got a glue dot on both ends. I folded it in half. That's just to show where the middle section is. And then just fold your edge right up to that middle section and push it down. And then you can fold the other edge to the middle section and push it down. Okay. And that gives us that interesting shape. And you turn it over so you don't see that. And that's that interesting shape that I used for this little bow. So that's the same shape there. Now you can fluff it up, you know, put a pencil in there, make the ends, push the ends in a bit, get it all, you know, fluffed up, kind of, if you can call it fluffing paper. So you can do that to get that shape. And then I took that bit further. Here we go again. Ran through one time, but this time I glued everything down. So this one has, the center is the brad. This one I glued it all down, and it is a bit fiddly gluing that center piece on, but that's all glued together. So we have the 3 large on the outside, and because they're stuck together, it gives us 6. And the 2 medium in the middle, and the 1 large in the center. So that's another type of bow. And I didn't stop playing there. I carried on. So then, again, I got them out, and this time I just made circles. So this is almost like an egg type bow. So we got our small and our mediums and the large, and then this is the large done the way I just showed you. Now you're probably thinking, how did I end up with different sizes from the same strip? Well, that's quite easy, because when you put your strips together, you can glue it there, and it's one side. You can glue it further along, and you have a different size. So I just glued the sections slightly further in for each of them to give me that interesting looking bow. So it pops up like that, or it looks like that if you're looking at the side. So it's kind of like an egg bow. And then I just had the extra left over that I put along the side. So there's my egg bow. And again, that's only going die cutting the one time. I'll put my egg bow over there. That's my least favorite at the moment. And then from the egg bow, we go to the peacock bow. So there's our peacock bow. Now this, as you can see, I did it with cardstock. So I didn't want to mess with any more of the designer series paper. So again, this is only one go through. So we have our 3 large, and our 2 mediums. And that's the small one I just put straight on the bottom just to give it some balance because it was sticking up. And so this large here, I didn't glue so far down in the middle. I glued it part way down. So it just sticks up like that. And if you did that in different colors, it would actually look pretty cool, like a peacock. So there's my peacock bow. Pop that so you can see the peacock. And then we got into non-bows. So same die. This time I made things that were not bows. So one thing, that you would probably not expect to see. I'll bring it over slowly. And again, this was just one go through. I went through with the white cardstock. And, oh, hold on a minute, it's falling apart. There we go. A snowman. So that's the 3 different sizes. Just did circles on them and kind of went different shapes because I put lollies in it. My hat's falling off. And there's a snowman. But if you go through, have the one go through, you can get 2 snowmen. So there's my larger snowman. So this one was done with the 2 large and 1 medium, and again, depending on how you glue your circles, you can have different sizes. And this one, if I can pick it up, oh, I don't think I can, it's going to fall apart. I'll put them down there. So you get 1 large and 1 medium snowman. You could just leave them as snowmen, but I thought it'd be fun to put some lollies in them. So 1 large, 1 medium from 1 go through on white cardstock. So got snowmen. And then I decided to do a wreath. So the base of this wreath is similar to these bows where I glued the 2 together on one side and made it stick out. So this one, I think it either has 2 or 3 cuts of the cardstock. I'm not sure, but basically I made 1 section, so 2 opposites, and then a small one in the middle. And then I just stuck all of them down onto a circle. And then I made one of the big bows the same as, I lost my bow. That big bow is the same as this bow. So that big bow is 1 go through with the cardstock. And yes, it does look bigger because of how I glued it together. And I glued them inside of the red there. And this one I put the center bit on top. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections fit. Now it depends on how big you make your wreath, how many sections you would have to go there. So that is made with the same die, believe it or not. I told you I was going to show you different things. Now, if you thought that was interesting, make room for the next wreath. There you go. So this wreath, the bow is similar. This bow is more like that, except I turned the center section sideways, so you can see the center section is coming there. So that's the same type of bow with cardstock. That's 1 go through with the die. And then I use the die to make the rest of it. So I've got large ones on the outside, a few medium on the inside, and some smalls here, and then a couple mediums just to top it off. And that, I would turn it over and show you, but I think all the Ferrero Rocher would fall out. But again, it's got a circle. You can cut cardstock or a piece of cardboard if you need. And so each section, at first I was playing around and gluing it on and wasn't quite sure what I was going to do and what I was trying to get at. I didn't actually like the way it came out until I realized I could put Ferrero Rocher in those empty sections, and then it worked perfect. But at first I was trying to layer up all the green and make it a different looking wreath. But I think that came out quite nicely in the end, filling it out with chocolate, and who doesn't like chocolate? So I think with that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that looks like I probably went through 4 times with the die. Gave me 12 of the large. I got 4 of the small, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the medium if you ran it through 4 times with your cardstock, and then once again, so 5 times really, to make that wreath. And you can see the size of my hand, what size that wreath is. And try to find somewhere to put it. I'm running out of room. And you're thinking, oh wow, she's done lots. She's done. Nope, I'm not done. But there is more. And there's not enough room here to show you it. Okay, so we went from bows to wreaths to snowmen. Now, what else do we need for Christmas? We need Christmas trees. And why not stuff them full of lollies? So there's a Christmas tree and a trunk. And I think, I'm not sure if this one can stand up. Oh, he stands up. Yay! I filled him properly. And a star. Now, believe it or not, everything on here was done with that die set. I will show you briefly how I made the different elements of the tree. So if you wish to remake a tree, you can try it on your own. But even the star was done with the dies. So this was my first prototype one. But unfortunately, I couldn't get all the chocolates to fit. I made it too tight. So this one was done with the smallest size of the dies. So this one, I think I made it with the medium size. And then this is even one of them as well. So I'll explain how I did that. Where did I go? Okay. So if you're going to do a project like this, and you don't need all three sizes of the dies, what I suggest you do is you cut your cardstock the width that you want. So if you want your to do like the medium trees and you only need this length, then cut your cardstock that length. So let me get a ruler out and I can tell you what size. So that way you don't end up wasting the whole 6 inches of paper or cardstock for parts that you don't need. So say I wanted, 5 of this size. I would put my cardstock, so this is, that's about 5 inches long. So I would have a strip of cardstock 5 inches long, which that's almost 5 inches long. So you would just put that over your cardstock and run it through, and you'd end up with those strips the right size, and these would be cut off at 5 inches. And it doesn't, if you're creating something like this, it doesn't matter about having that edge there. You can just have a straight edge and that's fine. If you cut the whole thing, then you just want to cut them down to size. So that's one way you can use the die to get a lot of the same size pieces. Like if I wanted all the small ones, I'd only just put a piece of cardstock this width and die cut it, and then everything would be that width. So if you cut your cardstock, I've got some scraps here that I've already cut. I'll show you on these. So to make this, you need triangles. Now you might think, oh yeah, just 3 sides, but actually you need 4 edges to make your triangle, 4 creases. So the easiest thing to do is take your card strip, fold it in half, and then fold your sides down into the center, and then you'll end up having 4 sides that are exactly the same. So to get a triangle, you actually need to have 3 score lines. So there's 1, 2, 3 fold lines. And then what we're going to do is we'll put glue or tape on one of those bottom parts, overlap it, and there you got your triangle. So that's how I created that. And then with this, the triangles, you here, this size, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 triangles. So you glue them together. So at the bottom, I had 5 glued together. Then I glued 3 together. And I put those 3 on top of the 5 and then 1 on the top. So if you have a close look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 3 one way and 2 holding the other 3 together. And then the same with the center. You have 3 and then glue it on the top, and then 1 on the top. And then to give it some sturdiness, I took the long strips and just put them down the side and folded over, and again glued down the side and folded over. So that gave me the edges I needed as well. So that gave me the sturdiness on the edges. So that's how this was made. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You need 9 of one size, so that's medium, and I think I ended up using the large ones on the sides there. And then you've got your trunk and your star, which are made out of the same thing. So the trunk, you need it to be a rectangle. So for the rectangle, you need 4 folds. So you can't do straight the diagonal. You just need to figure out how wide you want it to be. And then you fold that width on either end. And then you need to measure up how high, and then have that same fold width on the top, and then glue the two together, and there you've got your rectangle. So I did this with the long piece. You could do it with a short piece and have more of a square, chunky one like this guy here. See, I've got the square there. And then for the star, if I can try to recreate that one, I will try to recreate it with one of the strips. So I cut some scraps so I could do that. So for the star, this was my first attempt at the star. And I was trying, it's not exactly the right sides. And then I realized I don't actually need to have a folded over section in the middle at the bottom, because I'm going to glue it on there. So the star, you actually start out similar to doing the triangle. So you fold your piece in half, it gives you one fold. Then you fold your other bits to the center. So that's the triangle I showed you. And then if you take between the two folds and fold them together, the bottom to the top, and then the bottom to the top, you end up with those folds exactly the same size. See that? And so I can turn it around and do the same thing. So I can fold the bottom to the top and the bottom to the top. Now you could just, measure it out and get your ruler and score it and stuff. But so that way you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folds. And then this is your star coming together. You can kind of see the star. Now if I put it all the way together, it doesn't look like a star. But it's going to sit at the top of the tree. So it's going to sit at that angle. And I don't need a fold line there because those two bottom bits are going to be glued together. So as you can see, I've got the 3 tops and the bottom bits glued onto it. And I'll show you this one. So the bottom bits are glued. And if you don't like that shape there, you could cut it straight. If you were to do that, cut it straight and then fold your star. So that made my star. So that's all made out of the same pieces, just folded a different way. So I think that, so far that's all I've done with this bow tie. But I think that's quite a lot. I've created lots of different types of bows and trees and wreaths, and yes, don't forget the snowmen. So I hope you enjoy that, and that just shows you that one simple die that doesn't look very exciting or thrilling or anything can do lots. So don't underestimate some of the dies. And if you want to get it at the discount with the paper, buy the bundle, or if you just want the die to use with your cardstock and other paper, just get the die by itself. It's on page 39 of the current catalog. And I hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe if you'd like to see some more ideas from me. And if you're interested in anything specific, leave a comment. Contact me through my website. Let me know what you're interested in. And if you want to be doing all these creative crafts, go online, buy these products, and please give me a thumbs up. And feel free to share this video with others that love bows as much as I do. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.